Okay, I think it's time to get this started. Oh, yesterday we updated the visuals a little bit. And by visuals, I mean we added a pre-existing shader with a pre-existing outline. Struggled for almost 3 hours trying to make the normals fit better. And realized that there's a built-in solution for that. So that was pleasant. So on today's agenda, we have finishing up the eye of the small boy, making a turret type enemy, something that looks like a baseball launcher. Actually, let's take a look at how that looks and how we can integrate that into our design. Let me open up the Opera. Boop, 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 boop. Baseball launcher. And let's share the Opera display to take a look at this. And of course, it's gonna list the reference, and that's better. Okay, so we have the. I'm like interested in something closer to this, just so it looks like it's there to fire at you, and you can clearly see where it's headed. So there's gonna be a barrel and a little big circly thing, I guess, where the balls are launching from. Oh, not exactly like this, but the idea. And it's going to launch special kind of balls that are going to get close to the player, wait a few seconds, and then explode. So let's begin with the little guy first, because there is a few finishing touches that we need to apply to it. And for that, we need to adjust his nav mesh agent, just so he stops a little bit further away, so he doesn't bump into the player. So right now, if we take our player, move him here, and launch it, the little guy is gonna run straight into the player and push him. Yep, you can see that it moved. So that is not nice. So maybe we can play with the parameters of speed and stopping distance. Maybe we can make him a little slower. Accelerate a little slower as well, and increase the stopping distance. So let's see how that looks. Still pushed into the player a little bit. I guess let's ramp up stopping distance. Almost doubled. Will that look better? Okay. He stopped exactly before the player. That's good. Ooh, and another thing on the to-do list is to make player health. Because even though we have all of the logic for the enemies to attack, we don't have any logic for the player to take damage or the way to display player's health. And I want there to be one. Okay, so this seems reasonable. Maybe he can even accelerate a little bit faster, but run slower. So this is fine for now. This will work for us, so let's prefab him. Prefab the little guy. And let's not forget to set his position to 0 and rotation to 0 as well. And now that we have basic enemy set up, let's, while we're here, also do that for him and save. So we can have a few little guys running around, and let's see how that would look. I am a little worried of them colliding with each other and like interrupting themselves. So weirdly enough, they're all too far from the player to attack, so the stopping distance is a bit too high. We'll need to adjust that. Let's get them away. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, we should probably add some extra logic for grouping avoidance, but at the same time, if we're talking real gameplay, the user, let's turn on the mouse control, WSD movement somewhere here, our inputs, use WSD. So if the player is actually moving, let's see from the player perspective. So why aren't you attacking now? Oh, because you're aiming for the head and the head is a little bit too high. So let's try and find, yeah, let's adjust that a little bit. So instead of going for the camera, they're going for the base of the player. So pretty much what we're going to do, we're going to look for HVR player controller and measure the distance to that, because right now you can see they're all going for the head. And let's change that to be the base. So for that, we'll need to change the destination setter. Let's open up Writer and do that. So that's the shader that we were messing with yesterday that ended up not needing to be messed with. So pick a new position is set target position, which is in basic enemy movement. Okay, apparently it's more standardized than I thought. A case of if you're not gonna say good job to yourself, nobody will. So pick a new position is going to be player position, but player is player camera. So let's find all of the references to them. Now let's close all tabs except for, let's say this. No, we need little guy destination setter, so let's do that and close other tabs, and here close all tabs. Okay, so now we only have this, so nothing is going to interrupt us. What we want to do is every time the script is trying to get player target setter, instead of going to player target setter instance and player camera, we can aim for the body. So what we want to do is add some kind of a reference. Let's double check something before I forget. Let's turn the WSD and use camera. I don't know why those are on two different scripts, but that's fine. So let's see. Does the parent object of TechDemoXR move when we're moving around? No, it is not, because it is technically a parent and it doesn't do anything else. So we need to track, I assume, player controller. Yes. So the player controller is actually the bit that is moving around, even though it doesn't turn around, which we will need at some point. So when we're using it for destination setting, let's assume the worst and go to player controller. And player controller is the only object in the scene with HVR player controller. So let's see in here. So HVR player controller. Pretty sure HVR global, which is this one, HVR manager, has Don't Destroy, and it is technically in singleton because it has an instance. So in here, instead of using player target setter, we can do HVR manager instance player controller transform. Yes, that is pretty good. So let's see how that changed their destination setting. did that help us in any way? Not really. I mean, they're aiming for this. I guess we'll have to change the stopping distance on them, because they're stopping too far, and you can see their attack logic, attack range is 2. Let's say that they're gonna stop at 3 point something because they need some time to break. Are they good enough now? 1, 2, 1. So not all of them, but it is mostly because of grouping rather than their positioning. So I think ideally, what was the encounter layout that we did before? It was 3 simple grunts, 1 simple grunt and 2 little boys, 3 grunts, 2 little boys, 2 grunts. Okay. So yeah, realistically it shouldn't be more than 2 of them in any encounter. So let's, I guess, delete a couple, these 2. And let's space these out as if they just spawned in. And give it another go and see if they will get where they're supposed to. On the top-down view, zoom out a little bit and turn off Gizmo. Okay. So you are close enough to attack. You're not. So the stopping distance is still a little bit too high. Let's say 3. I mean, realistically, it should be 2, the same as attack range. So you are attacking, and you are attacking. Okay, that's good. So 3 works. Let's save this to prefab. Oh, it needs to be here. Oh, we just need to select one, that's why. Apply to prefab. Okay, good. Good, good, good. So they go where they need to. They attack on an appropriate distance. And that's pretty much it for them, except for the fact that where they don't deal any damage. And I'm really dreading debugging the target setter, but I think we'll have to do it at some point. So let's fix it before we continue, because I think that's really relevant. And that's like the biggest broken point part of our script. So the issue is, well, there are technically 2, because now we have draw order where the outline is rendered after the opaques, and the target setter is technically rendered after the opaques, but on the previous what is it called, pass. So let's see if we can change this to behave correctly without adding it into a separate render pass. So we have Deathrite Force enabled and Death Taste always. What if I say user override after transparent? Will this make you always on top? Yes, that seems to do the trick. So now you're like always on top. All right, that works. So that is apparently pretty simple fix. Let's lower our player controller a little bit. Where was that? I keep forgetting that. I think it's on the camera rig. Yes. Let's lower that so they're on our eye level for now. Let's lower this. Come on. Okay. So now they're always in view, and this is always on top. So let's pause, disable their movement. Okay. So now we can switch between the targets. Good. So now let's see. So we are aiming at which one of them? We're aiming at the left one, which is Slow Guy. So we can let's close this. Oh, I did not want to open it all the way. I wanted to clear. You're gonna complain about the lack of nav mesh agent. That's fine. So I wanna debug big damage, and you died, but you're still aiming because targetable is only on destroy. So let's adjust that. So on destroy, that's nice, but we wanna also listen to not the on destroy, but what is it called? When the enemy actually dies, because we don't destroy the object, because we added a ragdoll for the enemy. So this we need to invoke not just on destroy, but also on death. So here let's add a reference to enemy health. And on start, we're gonna find it. Is it on the same one? Yes, little guy, targetable, and enemy health. Okay. So enemy health on death. So let's add an event here. And die. We need to add a public Unity event. On death. So we can do here and die on death dot invoke, and then targetable. We don't want to invoke on death, but let's just do this. Is there a listener to this one? On target. Okay. So I guess we should, instead of doing it here, let's put it here. And theoretically, now it should not target it anymore after the enemy is dead. Well, let's stop them from moving from the very beginning, and just so they still can behave properly and we can test every other bit of logic, let's make it so that they are both targetable. So let's move in position, or both of them are technically in target range. Boop, boop. Okay. So if this one dies, this one, the target should jump to this one straight away. So let's give it a test. Bug take damage. Okay. And if this one dies, it should disappear. Let's try that. Okay, that's good. Apparently it worked fine, but it did throw an error here on line 33. And what is happening there? Scale target based on distance, so it's an update. And that is because why? What happens in base awake singleton? All of this. Oh, okay. I mean, realistically, it would be better if we make it as init, right? And we can overwrite that, I think. Yes. Right. Why are you complaining? You didn't find not valid for constructor. True. Because the init is reserved name. Initialize this. Go in here and initialize void. Yes. So let's go here. Public void override void. Always mess up the order of those. Void. Wave. Void. Okay. So this has one override. Yep, that's good. Okay, and in here it is complaining because we don't have the face yet, because this reference is empty. So let's go into player target setter, because this happens on start rather than on awake. Let's do this on awake. And I think that error should disappear. Oh, because it's a singleton. So I guess an override, void, initialize. It's also singleton. But it needs to be public. For singleton. Oh, I guess there's just a typo. Initialize. Initialize. Okay. And then here, because that happens on awake, we can do this on start. And we can make this private now, just so that it triggers before this one. So ideally, there should be no errors now on start for the target setter. So let's give that a try. Bam, start. Nope, still there. I guess let's put a debug point and see what actually is a null reference instead of assuming it. Because you know what they say happens when you assume. Okay. Oh, connected, and let's start. It's thinking. Okay, it hit a breakpoint. So, I guess current target position is null yet. So if the current target position is null, but it's not going to be null on the next frame, right? It threw an exception, yep. But now current target is not null. Let's do a band-aid fix. Even though it's not great, it should still be fine. So basically here we're going to add an if statement of if current target equals null return. Not the best, but should be more fine. Okay, great, no errors. The scaling still seems a little bit off, but maybe we'll think about it later. Okay. So this works fine, which is good. Goes in and out, jumps between enemies. Lovely. Okay. And let's give this another kill, but without an enemy inside. Debug take damage, you're died. Cleared, but then still appears again. Okay, great. All seems to be fine and dandy now. And what else can we do with this? Not 100% sure, but one second, excuse me. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, so we have a choice of making a turret enemy or making player health. Both of them are pretty straightforward tasks, but I want to prototype a little turret before we do enemy health, just because I think that's more fun, because it will require some custom code and we can change, like create a new ball, I guess, because this is not really good, what we have currently in ball behavior. Also, ball squish and stretch doesn't do anything because we said that we're not gonna do it. Okay. So yeah, we will need to update ball behavior. For that, let's take a peek at what's happening here. We have launch ball. I mean, actually there is some logic that can be adjusted. There's some code that can be reused. There's a lot of thing that we don't actually use but kind of use. So for example, when we're launching the ball as a, what do we call it? I keep forgetting the words. When we're deflecting it, like when we're hitting it with our bat and it flies, that technically still uses the curve to give it a starting rotation. It's fine, sure. But let's remove the commented out code. And technically we can still use launch ball at player, but we'll need a different extra bit of logic here, and we can put it in here or we can expand this class. So let's think for a second. So the bit that we'll need to change is here. So basically I want to make a ball that flies to the player, stops and explodes in a few seconds, just to give the player another motivation to keep moving around. But if we want there to be many different types of balls, we'll have to change it, but I think that for now it should be fine. This is really gonna bite us in our ass when we're gonna do some modifiers, and that is gonna be annoying, but for now we can live with it. That's future me problem. So let's ignore all of this and pretty much keep writing not that great of a code, but it's fine if we call this prototyping. So what we're gonna do is make a public full explosive ball, sure, which is gonna be a false by default. And here, do we have anything in update? We have something in fixed update. That is for moving on a curve. But for this one, let's say it's hard to contextualize it, but let's say like these balls are undeflectable. So here we can say if that, so if explosive ball, we're gonna float it. So let's create a function for that. Public float explode. So if it's an explosive ball and it got hit by a bat, it's gonna explode right away. And in fixed update, it's already over 200 lines, which is not good. Ideally, it should be like 200 to 250 lines in each script, and if it's more, it means that you are not decomposing it correctly. But here, let's do public void distance to blur check. We don't want to put it into debug log. And we should return full. And here we can add public float stop radius, which is going to be, let's say, half a meter from the player. Okay, and here let's return vector3 distance. If it's less than stop radius, let's rename this to check if close to player. And we can do in fixed update, we can do this. So if explosive ball and check close to player, we're not gonna explode straight away. We're gonna stop the movement. And stop the movement, how can we do that? We're going to launch ball. Nope. It's launch ball at player. Right. Oh, basic enemy attack, spawn projectile. Okay, launch ball at player. Goes into launch ball with player target and use offset that to true. So pretty much what we need to do, because it's a force, we can just set body to kinematic and set the velocity to 0. Let's put it into a function of private void stop and freeze. Do this. Let's actually, is it kinematic by default? I think it is. Yes. Cool. Stop and freeze. And after this, we can have a private enumerator. Explode after delay. Am I using something wrong? Or is it just a reference missing? I think it's just a reference missing. Okay, and here we're gonna start routine. Load after delay. And here we're gonna do some visual stuff. Sounds and visual or imminent explosion. Okay, and here we're gonna yield return wait for seconds, but we're gonna take it as a explosion delay, so let's do that. There's gonna be 2 more parameters. Public float explosion radius and public float explosion delay. Let's say the delay to 3 seconds for them for now. Okay. I'm gonna yield return new wait for seconds explosion delay. 1 second. Okay. And then we're gonna explode. Yep, explode we have. That's an empty one. I don't know why it was float, but also doesn't need to be public, it can be private. So we need to check if the player is close enough. Player target setter instance, nope. We want to have a reference to player camera. And we want to have vector 3 distance. Because we are only damaging the player right now. Between this and transform dot position. Camera position and if this distance is less than motion radius, we return. Else, we're gonna do a raycast. We are gonna have the fancy hit effect and everything, but not just yet. So let's see, we need to do physics. Nope, not overlap sphere. Gonna do physics raycast. Do player. How do we do that in our big enemy? Double check that. Where they actually aim at. Basic enemy, edit. Oh, we already have this in the offset. We can do target. We will have to change the logic to what do we call it? To offset for the hand. Probably we'll have to get rid of it because it feels a little awkward. Maybe we can just have some inaccuracy on our enemies. Like a few degrees left or right. So we can do target. We do plus offset, which we have stored here, and the target that we're using is empty. Nope. Launch ball at player. Spawn projectile. We just do launch ball at player. Go to definition of that. Player. And then awake we set player to HR player controller. Okay. We can just do player plus offset. Do transform position but not down. Probably at this point extract this into some kind of a simple function like helper function hit player. Let's do this. All behavior explode. Let's put this here. The direction is going to be this, but we're just going for the head minus transform dot position. This. So we have direction and we have transform position here again. We can use direction, physics raycast, target position, this, out hit, and do raycast, hit, attack range is going to be explosion radius, and this is going to be pretty much the same. So I guess we'll have to copy that, but again, should be probably extracted. Here we're gonna also drop this, and that is gonna be just player and walls. If we do hit, oh, we don't need to define it, I guess. Why are you complaining here? Oop. Oop. Great, okay. So if we hit player, we're gonna have some kind of logic of private void deal damage to player. Okay. So pretty much we set a position, go there, explode if the player is in the radius explosion, and if we can hit him with a raycast. Good, I think that's pretty much it. So let's save this and go into Unity and create a duplicate of our prefab. We can say exploding ball. And we can prefab, unpack, and in ball behavior it's going to be explosive ball. Why are there no? Are there no parameters that I just put here? Oh, there's a compilation error. Why did it all disappear? What happened here? I thought I created a function for this. Drive deal. Huh. I'm very confused right now. So deal damage to player, okay. Should be good. Some of the project source file refer to our API that has changed. No. What API has changed? Like, do you have a warning for this instead of just doing it? Fill target visuals. Reach. Something obsolete. Find object to swipe. Demo menu teleport. Demo backpack. Ball behavior. Linear velocity. Sure. That's all we were complaining about, I think. So let's clear this. Take our exploding ball. Yep, okay. Explosion radius of 5. Let's, I guess, set that to 3 because that doesn't make that much sense. Line of sight. Layer. And wall. Save that. And let's, I guess, prefab it straight away. Let's go into here. And we'll need to also, why are you in such a weird position? 0, 0, 0. Because that can be annoying in the future. So we want it to look more dangerous than this, which can be a little bit tricky. This already looks quite spooky. So let's find our black hole that we have here. So this is the one we're using. Interactive black hole. There's Mega Black Hole. I mean, I think we should go with the same base, but maybe change the color of it or something like that. So if we change the basic prefab color a little bit. So if we take this and make it, because the red one usually means it's gonna explode. And I guess we can also disable the outer layer on this one. So it's just the spinning ball. And when it's gonna explode, there's gonna be the outer one. Because I think that's gonna be easier to determine. Or maybe the other way around. Like this one is gonna be... Yeah, because if we do outer layer and then scale it up, it would be pretty easy to understand if it's gonna explode or not. Also, we'll need to enable backface draw on this one if we want to use this as a radius. So, let's make this one yellower. And I guess in renderer, poly sprite glow, just white, I guess it's color over lifetime. Oh, poly black hole red, okay. It does have a yellow material. Let's take a look at that. So it's the... Can you keep playing, please? If I lock you like this, will you keep playing? No. Sure. I guess we'll have to do it like this. So, albedo, make this also yellowish. Doesn't look that great. Let's change the Fresnel color to be a little darker. Or I guess more orangey. Not really menacing. Maybe the inside needs to be much darker. And the glow, I guess, also. And glow is already yellow. Oh. This looks like a projectile. If we disable the outer layer, it still looks pretty menacing, I would say. So let's spawn a guy and see how it looks when he's trying to attack you. Because we want the balls to be quite distinguishable. Okay, that makes sense, because it's like a little fiery ball. Yeah. And the fiery balls do make sense to be yellowish. So yeah, I think this one's going to be yellowish and the exploding one is going to be more red. So let's go into the exploding ball. Oh, no, I don't want it in context. I just want it in isolation. So we can go into prefabs, exploding ball. Okay, so you're going to be black hole red. And you can be even more red now, I guess. So let's change your Fresnel color to be a bit more aggressive. Yeah. And the outer layer can also have a little bit of a tint. So instead of changing this one, let's duplicate it. And make this one a bit spookier with red. Okay. And bolt trail for you also needs to be different because you were an explosion and not a fireball. You will need to have a more, or I guess less. Let's give it a look. Oh, okay, of course. This is. So fire doesn't make sense for this one, just because we need some distinguishing between them. So instead of trail fire embers, we should do something else. What would make sense for an explosion? Interesting question. Not 100% sure. Some ideas. Actually, I want to take a look at a reference here. So let's save this and let's launch a game that I think has pretty good style for this. I want to take a look at RoboQuest. Oh, it's not installed, but it should be pretty quick. Just for gigs. Yeah, let's download RoboQuest and take a look at how they do their visuals there. And they also have the whole gallery. Because those are pretty clearly readable on like which ones are gonna explode and which ones are just a projectile. So while it's downloading, I'm gonna take a 5-minute break and be right back. And the timing of this was just perfect, so let's pop open our RoboQuest and take a look at some reference images. We should also add a reference to it. You can take a look at it. Oh. Yeah, okay, here we go. Let's turn the music a little bit. So, continue. Let's take a look at some visuals of this. So, I really like the visual style that they have here. In general, like the shading, I think will work really well with VR. And can you give me some enemies here to shoot it? Okay, I guess that is not what we want. We want to just jump in and see how it looks. So let's put the difficulty to like tourist or whatever. Discovery, yeah. And let's just jump in and see how it looks. Sure, it doesn't matter. So the normal projectiles that they fire have a trail behind them. And they also look like little energy balls, which are really cute. And the explosive ones have an outline, which makes quite a bit of sense here. So these ones only explode when you walk into them. So let's just leave one enemy here. Okay. That is pretty straightforward. And they do have a little icon above them before they attack, which is nice. When they impact, they don't have that much of a visual representation, but like there's a little splash, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's really nice. So yeah, I really like those explosion effects. So this is what, like a little Renelli thing. Yeah. So like these have a very distinct visual. Yeah, that is a good reference, I think. So let's try and do something similar. We can disable this. Okay. So, but there's only one difference, because on this one we can be looking from inside. So outer layer, this should be scaled to the same as the explosion radius, and the rotation speed should definitely be way slower. Let's turn it all the way down. Oh, those were negative numbers. It just spins just a tad. Okay. Also, we'll probably need overlap, so we'll have to make a separate material for this one. Is this one a shaded graph? Yes. Okay. So we can pretty much work from here. Okay. It's just Fresnel effect and multiply with a color. So can we save as? And we're gonna save it as explosive outer shell. Okay, we have a copy of it. So now we can play with this. So we're gonna take this outer layer, gonna assign this one feeder that we want. URP Polygon Arsenal in place. Yeah, Polygon Arsenal. Transparent rim light. No. Oh, what do I call it? Explosive outer shell. Explosive outer shell. Okay. So, first thing that we want to do scale all of this down. Not in a way. So render face, both. So now, if we save it, we have also the inner face visible and the outer face visible. That is very non-readable, so we're gonna need to take transparency. Transparent, it's already transparent. So alpha is gonna be the same as the Fresnel effect. So we can take this and I think just drop it into alpha. So it's only visible on the outside. Oh, but the color of the inside then will need to be a little less, I guess. That is absolutely atrocious. Oh, because that is the wrong one. Outer layer, black hole outer layer, also outer shell. Okay. One, yeah, okay. So something is not right here. And I think... Why can that be? So this goes into emission. Base color goes into here. Why cannot we not feed this into alpha? Does it need to be the other way around? No. Oh, is it because back faces are always technically backlit? That is interesting. Oh, me get this back out. Nope. Sorry, but where did this graph settings disappear? Oh, is it still broken? So let me double check if the preview updated. No. 600F1 is the latest one. Okay. I don't know why I decided to go with the Unity 6, I just wanted to play with it, and apparently it turned out to be a whole project. But let's close this and I guess reopen it again. Go away. Okay. Oh, this definitely doesn't need to be 1 minus. This can just go in. Save this. But in here, if we just set it to front face, it will look fine, yeah. So the Fresnel effect on the back face looked like shit. But we only want it, so like if we set it back to both, the Fresnel on the inner face is messing it up. So I guess... Oh, Unity shader graph Fresnel on back face. Double-sided Fresnel. On a fade out the rim of the object. Blah 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 blah. Apply effect both in front and back. Could you use front face? But so this is not it. Maybe now shader. Double-sided material with Fresnel. Okay. Transparent. Yeah. From my computer. Facing. So I mean, theoretically we can do this. Back is front face. I went into the shaders again, knowing absolutely well that I do not know how to make them quickly on the fly. And I'm just struggling. At least I'm not struggling in front of people, that's good. Yes, front face. So let's say create node. Compare? No. Let's look at an example. So is front face branch? We need a branch one. Branch. So this can go here. This can go if it's false. And I guess we can try and do the reverse of it. Multiply by -1. So we're going to multiply this by -1. Take this, put it here, and if it's not a front face, it goes into alpha like this. That didn't do anything. That is not good. So let me make it just the back face again. No, just the front face first. So this looks fine. But if we just make it just back, how would that look? It will always consider it highlighted because it's concave. But what if we invert it here like this? So we're gonna take create node, another Fresnel, but instead of using normal like this, we can take world space. Nope. Let me just find normal vector. Yes. Multiplied by -1. So it's going to be flipped. Put it here. Same Fresnel size goes here. And this goes here. And only if it's back face. I keep doing things and nothing changes. Do I need to invert? Oh, wait. Because this is a vector 3. Why can I? Let's create a node of float -1. We can just invert vector like object. Oh. You know what? Let's look at a tutorial. Back face shader. Right, guys, here we go again. Can we? Yes, we can get the project files. Pretty sure I'm downloading it like what, for the 5th time? Downloads it. And unpack it. And while we're here, we're gonna create a little folder for it. Oh, it has, okay. First field, assets, hexagon grid, blah, blah, blah. Materials, that's skybox. Example assets. Shaders. Paint 1G. Oh, okay, that's a good name for it. So let's take our Peak Arcade. Doesn't have shader because I put them in materials. So let's drop this in here and take a look at it. Okay. That feels like it's not it. So let's go back. Oh, okay, force field shader graph, not paint whatever. That's, I guess, some default one. Yep. Start graph and close window, thank you. Oh, force field shader graph. Field. Okay, and let's try it on this one straight away so we can see what's happening. So you're gonna be force field. Okay. Both. Oh. Okay, so because it's Fresnel, it's also not gonna work with both faces. That's interesting. That is indeed curious. Also, it doesn't really work on a mesh like this. To be here, like a straight up here out. Oh. I mean, it looks interesting, but it's absolutely not what we want. Cast shadows, relief shadows. Want anything of this, I don't want any of this. Oh, alpha goes in here. Roll speed. Oh, because we don't have. Let's import that as well. It's all going into one big pile for Polygon grid. Oh. On grid. Really bad. What am I doing wrong here? Take this. Also look wrong. Is it because something hitting? It might be. I put you here. Well. Not really liking the effect here. I feel like something is off with the materials. Because it's not supposed to. But maybe let's give it a test here. Down. You want this? that 0.65. That's bizarre. I guess some render settings. Something. Because this looks very bad. Or is it camera based? Hmm. Also, I feel like this needs to be inverted. Just doesn't look anything like it's supposed to. 0.6. Null power 5. So I guess some URP settings are messing up. That's interesting. In position, in depth. Subtract 1 minus, fill step, null effect, goes in here. Is the shadows changing something? No, it shouldn't, yeah. Can it be because of the... Oh, not this one. No, it's not here, it's in render settings. Let me just open the project itself and see if it works in Unity 6. Because maybe the renderer changed enough for it confused. So it's suggesting 2019 10.f1. Let's try to just open it with Unity and see if that will work. Yes, continue please. Because if it doesn't, that might explain some things. Some things that I don't understand. So let's take continue. I think my camera is just back to life. Oh, it's doing something. Is it? No. Let's see. We'll look 6 because maybe the URP is just broken in some way. Oh, okay. Can I check target window? Keeps killing my camera somehow. So if I select one, okay. So scenes, sample scene. Nope. Is it non-URP? Let's try it out. So, edit. Or was it? Like moded in services? So. Huh. Getting where it went. One sec. mouse. I was using the wrong mouse this entire time. So Unity upgrade. Here it is. Repeat. Keep forgetting where they put it. Oh, edit. Okay, so it's in here, right? Used to be here. So window, rendering. I want to find my render pipeline converter. Go through. Graphics. Oh, it doesn't have it. Asset. Listing. Why don't you have render pipeline? No rendering. Nope. Because you don't have a URB thing. Okay, you know what? Boop, 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 boop. Can I just do this? What happened to you? I'm genuinely confused. Internal error shader, so it's not a material issue, it's a shader issue? Doesn't even let me select shader? Force field. Shader graph. Is it because it's open in another window? It's like referencing the same file? No, it's just that shader graph files, I guess, do not work anymore. That's fascinating. So they don't just update. This is like the default material for you. Ground material. Internal error shader. So I guess it breaks. Oh, wait. What even is the pipeline here? There's no URP setting. Did it update it to a built-in renderer? Yeah. Like, let's see. You not have it in you. You need RP. Yeah. Wow. You know what? Before we do this, let's do it another way. I'm gonna fix my mistake, I think. And by fixing my mistake, I mean I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna move project. I'm gonna unpack it again. Great. So now let's do it again. Extract, extract. Cool. Let's add it again. but we're gonna use 2020 to 323, and let's see if that works. Because maybe that one will work instead of this one. But I guess Unity 6 is using what your URP version? Package manager. In project. Universal RP 17. And URP versions. We can see what is the one in the project. We can actually do that from files. I think, like the manifest, project settings, project version, no. Project settings, there's like package something. Nope. Packages lock. So let's see, universal. Oh. Shader is still broken. Okay. So it doesn't want to update it. Cool. Let's see what version is it actually using. Does it not call it? Nope. Manifest? Yep. Okay. Modules. 2D sprite, text mesh pro timeline. UI. Web request. VR. How was it? Or never mind. AI navigation, 2D sprite, Visual Studio Vertical Purchasing, Test Framework, Text Mesh Pro, UI, Android, image conversion. Okay. So it doesn't actually tell us anything. Great. So I guess we cannot use it. Fascinating. That is really cool. This one just doesn't work. I guess that's the price I have to pay for deciding for some reason to go with Unity 6. Like, no upside to it at all for me. But I went with it, and now I have to deal with it. So what changed? What changed in URP 17? What's new in URP? Change log. Change log, please. Change log. Change log is a dead link, so I have to go through this again. Package manager. Change log. Okay. Ah. 1702 is the last one they have documentation for, but this one is 1703. Cool. Was an additional depth format. So that can actually be it, I guess. Oh, no, that's the wrong shader. Let's actually grab the sphere and edit this shader. So they changed something in depth formats. Wait, I don't even write depth. Let me check my pipeline settings. Depth texture. Simulated mount. What? It doesn't use the render graph API to construct the frame. Use it only for compatibility. Okay, that didn't help. I have a weird feeling that because it's not working is because something is wrong with depth writing. So let's look how it's supposed to be. Oh, oop. Let me just look at the end of this. Okay. Mode raw. That didn't break. Split offset. Scene depth. Sampling I. Default. Subtract 1 minus. Smooth step. I feel like Fresnel is weirdly different. Double check the graph settings that hold together. They were set up at the start. Is it? Oh. Ah. Graph settings like general. Smoothness alpha, clip threshold. I'm a little confused here. No. Because it's back from the... It was a PBR master node instead of this. Oh, something really changed. Not completely sure what. Does it have to do with the fact that it's a VR render? Maybe it's like single pass, double pass kind of thing. Project settings. OpenXR. Let's go into XR plugin manager. OpenXR. Single pass, multi-pass? Nope, still broken? Okay. Depths. Okay, so that didn't change it. Curious. So it's just not working. Something is wrong somewhere. I feel like transparency is broken somewhere. Maybe the Fresnel. What does the Fresnel... No, what did the Fresnel node used to look like? World space power. Okay, that's the same. I guess just something here does not work as it used to be. What is it? Drag this up. Happening. Object space. Object space. Albedo. Normal. So normal is tangent space instead of object space. Does that change anything? Nope. But I guess that's the only thing that's different realistically. Wait, normal is tangent space instead of object space. This also shouldn't be this, it should be object, I guess. Nope. World? Very weird. How do I change vertex from object space? No, space. Nope. Transform. Does this have reference to it? No, that's transforming from one type to another. So let's go into URP, change vertex from object space to tangent space. Nope, that's not shader graph. You know what? Let's go in a weird way. We can take no. Single lit. If you're unlit. Okay, that was a bad idea. How do I just get object space? Is there no object? Position scale, world bounds, bound side. Okay, that's not what we want. What else is there? Artistic utility? No. Input. Geometry. Tangent vector. Okay. So we want the normals to be in tangent space. And save. But the tangents themselves, we do not know. That is not good. You're just seem to be very confused. You're trying to get intersection, but you aren't getting it. You're doing something really weird. Which is not good. Like, what are you overlapping with there? Why are you like this? Not sure what's happening. Why are you broken? Such a weird way. It is not fun when things don't work. 165. So this is very... That's just when it goes into negative. Let's see, 0.1. 0.1. So it should look completely different. Intensity of something shouldn't really matter. Does the alpha of this? No. We're getting alpha for somewhere else. Why can this be? I really shot myself. In the foot with Unity 6. But I guess... What can we do to fix this? Do they have a newer version, maybe? When did they release? On the 1st of May. So let's take a look. They have... Resources. Developer tools? Releases. But it seems that Unity 6 is the thing that is causing issues right now. And I'm just trying to understand how we can either circumvent it or... Because, like, I don't think you can downgrade, because that will break quite a few of things. Test releases. TL releases. The release. Okay. Unity 6. So there is a 0.4. And I'm using 0.1. 0.01. March, April, May 29th. So there was a new release just a few days ago. Can I download it? 6.0.4, I guess, yeah. Let's give that a try. Release notes for 0.4. UI toolkit, improvements, shader. Big step, normal texture rendering error. Maybe? Hopefully? Likely? Not, but let's give it a try. Let's install 6 point whatever the fuck. Continue. Have installed. Well, I guess there's not much to do while the new version is downloading. But if it doesn't change it, we're just gonna switch to Logic and hope that the whatever issue we're having is gonna be fixed, because official release of 6 is like later this year. But maybe I'll just wait. Because working with previews, I wanted to see their like VR examples, which were nice, but for some reason I decided to create this project in 6.0 as well. And I guess that's why the bleeding edge is bleeding. Not because it's real sharp, but because it's so painfully annoying. Let's just wait, I guess. Because I really hope that it's gonna fix itself. I really hope there's not gonna be more issues because of this. More likely outcome. But as long as it's not that much. Yeah, I guess I'll just put it on BRB and come back when it installs. Oh, I come back to see that the editor application install has failed. I think it might be because the Unity is open. Let's save it. Close it and try it again. Retry. Let's just hope this will go relatively fast. Because this being broken is quite annoying. Yeah, I guess back to BRB, but now I'm just gonna stare at it because there's nothing happening. Just sit here and stare at it while it's installing. Really should have went with the LTS version instead of this garbage. But now I know. And let's go back to BRB. Okay, so the 6.4 got installed successfully this time. And now it is gonna update. Let's see if it will work correctly with 6.4, because I went through like change logs and there were quite a few changes in the shader logic, like bug fixes related to shader graph and stuff like that, and depth writing, which I guess is also relevant. But yeah, there is nothing I can do but hope right now for it to go well. So let's hope that it does. Still recompiling stuff. Oh, just a few minutes of awkward silence. No, I don't want to change anything in those scripts. And okay, seems to be initializing now. It's definitely making my computer work because it's spinning up like crazy. Come on, chop chop. Okay, seemed to have re-imported, but the issue seems to remain. Still broken. Maybe it is a VR thing rather than anything else. If I put it exactly the way it was, it is still not right. Mm -hmm. If I say from currency, still very broken. Still doesn't want to look the way it's supposed to. There's something wrong with it. Let's try and open the unedited project with yeah, let's try to open unedited project with 6.4 and see if that add it. Open with 6.4 and let's hope that it works. Because there's just something weird with the shader graph. Because like, I don't like it. Like, it should be fine. So let's do something. I have this shader of explosive outer shell. Let's open this prefab. Oh, I already changed in this one, right? Yeah, so let's make back to explosive outer shell. And make it just the front face. And change this back to whatever sphere is polygonal. I think it's like megasphere or something like that. Here. Yeah, this one. Because as angles of that to 0. So we have this, which is just an outer shell, but from the inside it looks transparent because we're not rendering back faces. And if we enable back faces, the Fresnel is going to break. So that's fine. Let's see if the project with the force field will open properly. With the 6.4. While that's happening, let's try and see what is wrong here. So, material settings are correct, I think. If we set this to none, it should still be technically semi-transparent, I think. One second, yep, the material is still broken. And there's an internal error. Does it show me what is wrong with it? Reference script is post-processing volume. I just remove post-processing. Like all of the post-processing we don't care about. No errors, right? That's kind of what I thought. Because we're getting a shader error. On the force field with shader graph. Can we just look at what's inside of it? Maybe even a weirder. I'm gonna open ChatGPT. I'm gonna say fix this. Is it possible that it will figure out what's wrong with it? Fix it, ensure proper formatting and readability, address any structural or inconsistency. I mean, maybe it's possible that it will fix it. Highly unlikely, but still. I'm pretty sure the entire shader is not even going to fit in its context. It's also really interesting that Unity is storing shader graphs in JSONs, but everything else in YAMLs. Which is kind of weird. Let's just wait for it to generate all of it and see if it works. Okay, and I guess let's give it a try. Did not fix it. Doesn't even recognize it as a shader graph file, which is bizarre. How does a shader graph file look the newer version? Phone Explorer. Open with Notepad. It is very different. It is missing like all of the birding and maybe this field data graph open Notepad. Yeah, it is very different. They're just, I guess the converter for it is wrong. Maybe if I recreate it from scratch it will work. So let's try and do that. So let me open the working state of it. This is before edit. It looks like this. So let's give it a try. Let's try and recreate it from the get-go. So we're going to create a new shader. Shader graph URP and force field fix. I'm going to take this material and it's going to be force field fix. Let's try to recreate it from the beginning because maybe formatting got messed up. So screen position. Yep, we're taking screen position, we're making it raw. We're doing split. We're doing rect. Take the alpha here. Create scene depth. I bolt. Another subtract. Oop. Oop. I collapse you. We're taking way too much space here. Another subtract, we do 1 minus. Do smooth step. With 0, 1 and this. We're gonna drag it out. Also, we're gonna change this to transparent. Enable alpha clipping. Okay. We're gonna take a Fresnel effect. World space. Let's power. Okay. Gonna do add. And let's put this into alpha and save. Okay, so it is working for the camera view, I think. Let's give this some parameters. I'm gonna add a float of offset, which goes here. Okay, we're also gonna give it Fresnel power. Goes in here. And that's it for now. Save this. Take this here. Offset goes to something like what? Offset 0.6 and 5. Offset 0.6 and all power 5. Okay. Alpha front auto. Save. Why does this look wrong? Let's add emission, I guess. You are. Yeah. You go into not smoothness, emission. Save. Red are glowing, but why is the alpha so wrong? Let's set Fresnel power default to 5 and emission 2. I'm gonna offset to 0.6. So this already looks wrong, right? Yeah. Because like the main preview is already not the way it's supposed to be, because alpha is being weird. Why is this full white? Let me test something. I'm gonna close, reopen it again. So yeah, 1 minus in depth. Like, what is wrong here? Raw should be I. That is correct. Maybe stored somewhere differently? What changed? Because this already should be semi-transparent. Let me check one thing before we go on. Let me go to project settings. What if I change it to multipass? Well, doesn't help. Cool. Full pass, depth. Save. Transparency is not working correctly. Unity 6. Okay. Figure with alpha clipping on a mesh to make some clip correctly in the simulator, but I use the same shader and device. It didn't work at all. Oh. Thanks. We're investigating further and consulting with Apple. Okay, not the one. Transparency doesn't work. Data transparency not working. That's from 2016. That's not Unity 6. Which is, and to say the least. So I'm pretty sure that there's something wrong with depth. But what can it be? It's also flickering in a weird way. Can it be? If I disable alpha clipping, doesn't really help. So it also looks different here and here. Here it does actually look transparent. Here it looks completely solid. What are the warnings? MPX. Okay. That's fine. Fragment. Bring back the alpha clipping, set it to 0.5 and play with other settings. Tangent. But what is actually different is the vertex one. Fragment normal space, clear code, none of this is... So position is object space, but the normal should be tangent space. Unity, data graph. Normal, tangent. Boom. Here's some changes. Tangent. Can I just take... Nope. I'm just taking the object. But I guess I need to convert it. Nope. So this is outputting vector 3. But if I do multiply this float -1, this, and do this, just look weird. Why are you objects? Oh, okay. This one. Doesn't change anything. What is it by default? Tangent. Is it because it's split? No. Active targets. Nothing. I am quite confused. Why this looks wrong. Still not 100% sure what can be causing that. We are doing everything pretty much the same. Metallic alpha clipping. And we're putting it into alpha. But it is very broken. Actually, let me check something. I want to see if it looks fine in VR, maybe? Yet. Link as default. Let me launch that. No, it does not look fine. It looks very, very... Actually, I get close to it. It does become... Which is super confusing. Like, the closer I get to it, the more... So I'm assuming it has something to do with this. Kinda? Yeah, I guess kind of. So this needs to be different. Filed? Nope. No. Volt? Will it change if I change the Fresnel power? Okay, it does. So this is... Yeah, that was just the raw view was incorrect. But what is important now is what if I change the both faces? It is gonna be very broken, isn't it? Because for now, so it looks weird when I look from here. But if I get inside of it, let me lower the camera. So what if I get inside of it? What does it look like? Looks like a complete solid. From the outside, it's semi-transparent. I guess this was the biggest issue that we had here. The screen position being incorrect. What if we change it here? Force field 6. Force field. Give it the textile. and set this to default rather than raw. I mean, it's not correct. Still. Yeah. Not sure. And getting a little bit tired of it, so let's ignore this for now. We'll deal with it later. Let's go and do something that is not shader graph related, because Unity 6 shader graph seems to be either broken or changed to a degree where this does not work. So the explosion radius of 3 seems a... So it probably needs to be scaled down. So let's... 2 maybe? No, still seems a bit too much. 1.5. Cool. Save this. All the overrides. And let's make this guy for a second row explosive ball. Let's see how that looks. His position didn't stop. code bit where it stops? Don't care about site. No, it does not. Why does it not? Is it not an explosive ball? It is tagged with explosive ball. Hmm. So in fixed update, we check if explosive ball and check if. Oh wait, why is no? Oh, because we're firing it. Okay, let's increase the stop radius to 1, I guess. Are we like firing it too far from? Yeah, okay. Let's let's increase the stop radius, something like 2. Let's change the logic so it's destroyed after exploding. Let's give it another try. So the player is technically in the radius. So these should be thrown at the head rather than hand. Let's say also it should turn on the explosion radius only after it stops. Let's add a reference to that, to bull behavior. Outer explosion effect. And we can say when you stop and freeze, turn it on. Where's that? So this is already too big to be readable. Outer explosion. Let the go. Let the outer layer. Turn it off. So now it should stop and it will just pop in. I guess we can scale it in. Okay, let's straight away add some. Oh, is it like this? Okay, and that fixed it. So yeah, it pops in a not pretty way. Oh. Let's make it scale in rather than just pop into existence. Water layer. Okay, let's set that reference. We can have private for now. Private vector 3 outer layer scale. Not gonna be this, it's gonna be all of this. Take this, copy and paste it. I believe in you. Okay. And then we're gonna set your scale in editor to 0. And we're gonna just tween you. Outer explosion effect. Transform. Dot. Tween scale. To outer layer scale. And 0. 0.5 seconds. And I guess let's give you some easing. Sure, punch. Oh, the syntax for this is different. It's like E. At ease. Yes. Okay. Give that another look. And why are you scaling in? Floating ball, visuals, black hole red, outer layer. Okay, so it's not scaling. Why? Because I guess it. Let's check it without. Hmm. That's weird. Outer layer scale is correct. Why can that be? Okay, this is how it should be, but your tuning did not work for some. Oh. Outer explosion effect set active true. Maybe because it was inactive, that's why it is, because it technically turns on the next frame. So let's do yield, nope, not yield break, yield return new. Wait for end of frame, so you're going to be technically turned on, and then we can scale you. If that helped. I mean, technically we don't even need to turn you off, just be scale 0 from the get-go. Yeah, let's give it a try, I guess. Lean scale to outer layer scale. Yeah, let's not turn you off. Maybe that is breaking it somehow. I mean, ideally we're gonna pull projectiles anyway. Let's turn you on. So why is this? I've set it to 222. Ooh, okay, I also need to, I guess, restart particle effect. We're gonna take outer explosion effect, get component, particle system, replay. I think play is what we want. We want to do that. So I guess we cannot scale particle systems because it's technically a particle system because we spin it and stuff. But you know what? Let's change it to not particle system because that doesn't make much sense to use particle system here. So we're gonna just take this mesh X here too. We're gonna plop it in here, scale it up to the appropriate size. It's just a tad bigger than this. Cool. We are gonna give you this material. Gonna turn off our debug. We're gonna reference you here. Cool. Let's adjust our code. Go back for a sec. Set active true. Main scale alt outer layer scale. Okay, let's also do here because it makes more sense. And the scale of this one is what? 18. Gonna do that. We can go back to Unity, scale it back to 0. Okay. Let's go straight away with that ease. Punch. And we can make it rotate. So let's do that. Transform dot rotation. Yeah, I think we can do lean rotate. Whatever. Random. Sure. And ping pong, whatever. Where you set it. That loop clamp. And the image can stand starts it back to where it began. No. Set loop ping pong. Yep. Okay. So it should rotate and scale in. Let's see if that happens. And throw. Nothing happened. Again. Why are you not skilled? Why are you not skilled? Is this a case of set ease? Bam. Nothing. Why? Let me see if it hits that line in the code. Oh, I guess it did. Outer layer scale is correct. Is it because it's like 0 by default? Continue. The ball arrived. It should scale out. Oh, okay, gotcha. It was just doing the same thing over and over again. That is root. Okay, so we are gonna go into all behavior. It's gonna be private full top. Okay, and here we're gonna only do this and not stopped. We're gonna set stop to true. Okay, I think now it should be all right. Okay, yep. So let's get it back to 0.5 seconds. Punch. Fireworks going off outside. Also should be definitely close all of these tabs. Definitely doing some research. And now you're not doing it. Why are you like that? Is it because of set ease now? Or is it because it's too fast? Let's remove set ease and check. Take two. Row stopped. No. Because it's too fast. A. What's happening? So you're on. You're not scaling up. Let's remove your rotation. Make you turned on from the very beginning. Lows. Just prefabs, please. All. There's apparently a lot of balls. Low. No? Floating boat. Okay, you are turned on. Let's try and do something different, I guess. Try and set you anything but. Maybe that's messing with the scaling. It shouldn't, but it might. Nope. Let's add a debug output. It's loading. Okay. Maybe that helped. So, boom, loading. So it is reaching point, but the scaling is incorrect. What if I say new vector 3? New vector 3 dot. Just vector 3 1. Multiplied by 10. So it is queen being weird. So let's try it another way around. Lean tween, lean scale. Outer explosion effect. Okay. No ease, no nothing. But with a different call. Nope, still nothing. Really, really weird. Still turned on, but it's not doing anything. And now it does. Just because I used a different reference. Wow. Sure. Great. Love you. Magnificent. Why do you even allow a call like that if it doesn't work? 0.5. set ease. Punch. Okay. That's even more interesting. Same thing. But with half a second. Okay. Remove set ease. Still at half a second. Okay. So it works without the ease. Or maybe the ease itself is wrong. What if I do set ease? Ease and bounce. Will that be okay? Okay. A little wrong. So let's say animation curve. Let's create an animation curve, I guess. Private animation curve. It doesn't need to be private, it needs to be public. Okay. No underscore. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, boom. Oh. We're gonna take our exploding ball. Exploding ball. Tabs. Exploding ball. Give you an animation curve. This. Cool. Let's see how that looks. Okay. Not punchy enough. Bam. Okay, that's still not fast enough. Let's do it from this point. This. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Yeah. Maybe even like this. Like evil Jello. This, yeah. It does look like a little bit of an evil Jello. Piss sphere. Okay, it should not definitely not be yellow. Man, it's a good reason not to get inside of it, because nobody wants to be inside the piss sphere. Also shouldn't cast shadows. This. Casting shadows off. Let's play with the material a little bit. this. Change it. Null color. And red. I will change it to a bit mature. Right now it's not really. Okay. Let's keep it at this and put a pin in it and continue.